Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So today's objective is to get started with machine learning, wherein we are going to take up a case study on casualty severity prediction. We have a data set wherein certain accident records have been identified. Approximately 2,000 records are available for accident in that data set. I'm going to share you the data set so that you all will be able to view what all is available over there. We have started this project in the previous session, wherein we have actually performed pre-processing, and we have to take up this further. Now, as you all know, we already discussed that in order to get started with machine learning, you have to do the following. And I'm going to give you a quick recap of what all has to be done. So we are going to perform machine learning using SEMA model. And this SEMA model actually stands for, S stands for sample, E stands for exploratory data analysis, or you can also call it as explore. M stands for modify the data so as to make it machine learning ready. Then the next M stands for model, which is a mathematical equation or a scientific equation using which you can calculate the dependent variable or you can calculate the association. And finally, A stands for assessment, wherein you are going to perform interpretation and evaluation of model. Evaluation of model. Okay, interpretation and evaluation of model. This is what we need to do. Now, role of a machine learning expert. What exactly a machine learning expert does. So the role specifies he has to perform 4 steps. Given the data, a machine learning expert has to identify what happened in the data. What happened in the data? Then why did it happen? So as to identify the reasons. Then what will happen? This is machine learning. We also call it as forecasting. You can call it as prediction, anything. Why did it happen? Identify reasons behind a fact and identify the facts. Okay. Then final will be how do you make the best happen? Okay, which is deep learning, and actually it is known as optimizations. Identifying the optimal solution. So this is the role of a machine learning expert. And how can a machine learning and the overall objective of machine learning to extract knowledge out of the data and calculate, or let's say predict outcome on the basis of knowledge acquired. Predict on the basis of knowledge acquired. Is that clear? Now, knowledge is represented as a model, which also known as mathematical equation or a formula. Okay. Finally, how to extract knowledge from the data. So to extract the knowledge from the data, we have 3 models. One is knowledge discovery process. We also call it as the KDD process. The second one is cross-industrial standard process for data mining. We also call it as CRISP DM. And the third one you have is sample, explore, modify, model, assess, SEMMA. So these are some of the models. This was in 1990s, then these were available since 1996. So the industry currently uses sample, explore, modify, model, assess, and cross-industrial standard process for data mining to extract the knowledge from the data, and then it uses this knowledge to calculate or predict the future. Okay, this is what we have to do now. So let's go for it. So that we will be doing it today. Now I need to give you the data set which we have actually used. So the data set is available over here. I think I have already attached the data set. Okay. Logistic regression. Yeah, here it is. Accident data set prepared. And this was the original accident data set which you need to use. Okay. So I'm sharing the link to the original data set along with the data set which we prepared in the last session. Okay. So I've shared the data set with you, all of you. And there is a prepared data set as well. Now what we need to do, let's quickly go to the casualty severity prediction and we'll start from there. So now you guys have to log into data IKU. Let's log into data IKU. Data IKU is your all-in-one end-to-end data science platform. And using this platform, you can quickly extract knowledge out of your data set. Okay. And once you have got the knowledge extracted, you can quickly represent the knowledge in R programming or Python programming, and you can quickly export the model so that you can integrate that with a web solution. Let's log in. So we log into admin, and I have defined in certain values. So now we are logging into the system. Now to log in, we have a lot of projects available over here. As you all can see, we have got approximately 116 projects here because a lot of students have created various projects. Now what I need to do is I need to quickly search for the project which we started in the previous session, which was casualty severity prediction. So I'll quickly check. Devanshu, accident casualty was my project which I have to take up, and all others will start with your own project. Okay. And Megha, since you have joined in today, I'll give you the previous video so that you can observe how we have pre-processed the data set. Okay, so for now you can quickly observe what we are doing in, and later at home you'll be able to implement all that stuff. So guys, open your projects, the projects which you have created with your own names, and I'll open Devanshu accident casualty prediction. Now, as of now, over this project, we'll quickly go to the flow so as to see what all we have done. So previously, we have started this process of extracting knowledge out of the data set, in which I'll quickly show you just to give you a quick recap that how the original data looked. So in the original data, we have a reference number. The victim was moving towards east, or in what direction it is moving towards north. The number of vehicles involved in the accident, the date of accident, at what time the accident happened, the class of the accident, then what was the surface of the accident. Okay, is it a snowy surface, is it a wet surface, or is it a dry surface? You can quickly observe if I go to analyze here. So we have dry, we have wet, damp, we have snow, we have frost, ice, and we have flooded road surfaces was there. Approximately most of the accidents have been done on dry surface. Then 718 accidents were done on wet, then on snow, frost, flood. Finally, there are lighting conditions available. So what kind of lighting conditions were there? We'll quickly go to analyze and we'll quickly observe that there was accidents during the daylight when the street lights were present and it was already a daylight. Then 586 accidents have been done during darkness under the presence of street lights and the street lights were on. 56 accidents happened in the dark wherein no street light was there. 18 incidents happened in the dark where the availability of street lights is unknown, whether the street lights were there or not. Then finally, we have got 5 accidents wherein street lights were present, but they were not on. They were unlit. Okay. So this is the data which is available to us depending on lighting conditions. Then we have weather conditions. Under weather conditions, you can see this was the weather conditions. Most of the accidents happened when the weather was fine and there were no high winds. 247 accidents happened when it was raining without high winds. Approximately 76 accidents happened when it was raining with high winds. Then 58 accidents happened when it was fine with high winds. 18 accidents happened under the fog. 12 accident cases were unknown. Then you have 10 cases falling in other cases. Then snowing with high winds has 10 cases. Snowing without high winds has 9 cases. Okay. So this is the overall availability of the data. Then we have the casualty class. Who was involved in the accident? So whether the driver or the rider of the vehicle got severity, whether the passenger got severity or the pedestrian member got severity. Yeah. So we have approximately 1,597 cases for drivers, 682 cases with passengers, and 385 cases with pedestrian. Okay. Now finally, next we have severity of the accident. So under severity of the accident, you can see that there were 3 types of accidents which happened: the slight accident, serious accident, and fatal accident. Okay. Now we need to predict this. Depending on the conditions, we have to identify what kind of accident may happen if certain conditions are there. Whether if the accident happens, it's going to be a slight accident, or it's going to be a serious accident, or it's going to be a fatal accident. That's what we need to predict. Okay. Finally, then you have the sex of the casualty, whether the person who was involved in the accident was male or female, then the age of the person, and what type of vehicle was involved in the accident. Okay. So there are certain vehicles available, like the accident has happened with car, pedal cycle, bus, coach, taxi, private car, or with motorcycle, with goods vehicle. And there are others like minibus, goods vehicle with heavy weight, mobility scooter, agricultural vehicle, or tram or light rail. Okay. These are certain options which we have got recorded in the data set. Now, so using this information, we have to perform prediction of the casualty severity. This is the data set. Now what we did over this data, we have performed preparatory analysis. Okay. So let's double click on it and let's quickly see the preparatory analysis which has been done. So now you can see that first of all, we have removed 6 columns which were not required in the data. We have removed first road class, time, accident date, northing, easting, and reference number. Okay, 6 factors have been removed out of the data. Now, after that, we have replaced certain values. So road surface has 5 values: dry, wet, damp, snow, frost, and flood, which we have changed to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So frost and ice is also changed to 3. Snow is also changed to 3. And flood is changed to 4. We are converting the values into numbers. Again, in lighting conditions, we have changed daylight, darkness, and darkness without light. So there are 3 categories: daylight, dark with lights, and dark without lights. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. So we converted these values, and in the same way, we converted weather conditions to fine uh, without high winds is converted to 1, raining without high winds is converted to 2, raining with high winds is converted to 3. Then we have converted fog to 4, snowing we converted to 4, and then we converted to 5 others and unknown. Okay, can you all see that? So this is how what we did. We have actually converted all the data in the data set into a number. Okay. And why we have converted that into numbers is an important thing to understand. Let's quickly observe it. Okay. Now, so we'll go to the flow. Okay, सभी लोग आ जाइए flow पे. We'll go to the accident data set. Now in the accident data set, we have to calculate the casualty severity. Okay. Now there are 2 data sets available. One is your accident dataset.csv, which was the original dataset, and we have prepared the dataset, which means we have converted it into numbers. 2 data sets हैं हमारे पास, ठीक है? अभी दोनों को हम process करके देखेंगे. So do one thing, everybody, open Google Collaboratory. You all have to open collab.research.google.com, and we'll do these things step by step. Okay. Let's quickly create a new Python 3 notebook. And we're going to call this project as Casualty Severity Prediction. Or you can also call it as Accident Casualty Severity Prediction. Let's call this Accident Casualty Prediction. Okay. Now we are going to observe. You know how to read data in Data IKU? Now we are going to read the data in Python. Read the data set. Okay. So first, we are going to import pandas. Pandas is a library which offers 2-dimensional size mutable data structure, so that you can read a data and you can keep it onto a 2-dimensional object so that you can perform pre-processing or you can perform mining on it. So we are going to import pandas as PD. And your PD object has a function known as read CSV, using which you can read the data set. So first, I would like to read my first data set, which is accident.csv. And I would like to forward accident.csv in chat box to all the participants. So सबसे पहले हम इसे read करेंगे. You're going to define the value accident dataset.csv with the double quotes, and let's save it into data. And now we're going to check data.head, and we'll quickly show the top 3 rows. Okay, let's open this data set. Initially यहाँ पे open कर लेते हैं. So this is the data set which you have here. Okay, there are certain cases which make set unreadable due to the codec issues. That's why we have pre-processed it. So you can see that when you were trying to read this data, Unicode decode error was there. Hence, we need to pre-process it, which we have already done. We have prepared it. Okay. Now, what you need to do? Let us just quickly read the next data, the another one, which is dataset prepared. So now you copy accident dataset prepared, copy link address, go to your Google Colab, paste this, and now you run the cell. So now when you run, you can see that now you have got your data set read in the data frame. Okay. Hence, we need to convert the information into numbers so that you can avoid all the issues like Unicode, encode, and you'll be able to read the data. So we have got number of vehicles, road surface, lighting conditions, weather conditions, casualty victim, severity, sex of the casualty, age of the casualty, and type of vehicle involved. Is that clear? So once your data is pre-processed, you can actually convert it into, you can actually read it in Python and you can perform the analysis. Okay. So I'll share the link on chat to all the participants. Accident dataset prepared.csv. Is that clear to all? Now, so when we are here, I will again go back to the flow in data IQ. Just to quickly see that accident dataset earlier, when it was in text, it was difficult to process and read. So we converted that into numbers. And this was the preparation script, which I've already explored, which I've already shown you. Okay. And now you have got this final data converted into numbers. You can double click on it and you can quickly explore. So we have number of vehicles, road surface, lighting conditions, weather conditions, casualty victim, severity, sex of the casualty, age of casualty, and type of vehicle. Okay. Can you see that? Now we have to perform. We have got the data. Now we need to explore, we need to modify, we need to model, we need to assess using SEMA. अब देखो हम explore करते हैं. So in order to explore this, the first information which you see here on accident dataset is, it says it has 2,664 rows and 9 columns. This is actually known as the shape of the data. We call it as shape of the data. Shape of data set. And you can actually calculate that in Python using data.shape function. Okay. And it's going to return you a tuple with rows and columns. Okay. So you have 2,664 rows and 9 columns. Now let's quickly do that in Python. We'll go to accident casualty. We'll go to new line of code. Now here, you need to check the shape of data. To check the shape of data, call data and shape and run the cell. So you get 2664 rows and 9 columns. Okay. So now I'm going to print it. Check the shape of data and print rows and columns. To do that, we're going to call a print function. So we say data has %d rows and %d columns. We're going to use mod and then we're going to call data.shape. So when we call data.shape, okay, when you call data.shape, it returns you a tuple like this. Okay. So the first value of the tuple will be represented here in rows, and second value of the tuple will be represented here in the columns. Is that clear? Okay, everyone. So let's print that. So I'm going to run this cell, and you can see that data has 2664 rows and 9 columns. Okay, now the next. So under accident casualty, there are 3 types of information which is available. So this is the tabular view, which you can quickly get with respect to heads and tails. Okay. So let's say if you want to print a table like this, if you want to see the data, okay, you can quickly define. Okay, we'll do that here. Check the contents of data table. Okay. You can directly call data and run. So when you call data and directly run on Jupyter, you're going to get all the rows extracted out along with columns. Is that clear? You're going to get the data. There are certain operations. Get top 3 rows from data. To get the top 3 rows, you can call a function known as head, and you can define the number of rows you want to extract. So when you run, now you're going to get the values for index 0, 1, and 2 only, since you have called the 3 values out. Okay. In the same way, there is another function, get bottom 3 rows from data. So from the data, you can quickly call tail method and you can grab 3 values from the bottom. So you can see that values from the index 2661, 62, and 63 are now extracted. Is that clear? Clear? Done? Now, let's get back here. Now, there are some other ways The second one is the columns view. So we have the following columns. All the columns are integer, inclusive of number of vehicles, road surface, lighting conditions, weather conditions, casualty victim, severity, sex of casualty, age of casualty, and type of vehicle. इस तरीके से हमारे पास कुछ कॉलम्स हैं. ओके, आप देख सकते हैं ये सब 100% valid columns हैं. All the columns are valid. Okay. Now, if you want, you can quickly extract this information in the Python as well. So, select a column from, okay, show the columns in data. So you can quickly call data.columns. So when you call data.columns, you can quickly check back what all columns are there in the data. Number of vehicles, road surface, lighting conditions, weather conditions, casualty, victim, casualty severity, sex of casualty. Okay. So these are the information extracted. Now suppose you want to extract the information of number of vehicles only out of the complete data. Let's say you just want to observe the values of number of vehicles only. Okay, or any of the other columns. So what you can directly do is you can specify data, and within double quotes you can define the name of the column, number of vehicles, and you can run. So when you do that, now you can see that only the number of vehicles have been extracted for all the values. Okay. Is that clear to everyone? In the same way, let's say if I would like to observe road surface, I can call road surface and I can check the values of road surface. So you can select one column from the data set. Okay. Is that clear? Now, now I would like to give you all a simple task. You have to quickly extract age of casualty. Just do that and check. If you all can quickly extract age of casualty from the data set. So you can quickly run. Age is uppercase. And you'll be able to extract the information out. Is that clear? You can select one column from the data set. Okay. Now, suppose you want to extract multiple columns out of the data set. Extract multiple columns from the data set. तो पहले मैंने columns के नाम चेक कर लिए, कौन-कौन से columns हैं? I have number of vehicles, road surface, lighting conditions, weather conditions. So you can see that this complete columns are passed in form of a list. Okay. So here you can see that the list starts from here and till here. Okay. The square brackets represent the list. So you can actually define the list of columns also to extract the data out. So let's say I want to extract multiple columns out of this data. So first column which I would like to extract, let's say I'll do that in the next cell. Out of the data, I have passed in I have to pass in the item or the column index which I have to extract the information. But if I have to pass a list of columns, so I'll put one more list inside. And within this list, I'm going to define, I want to check number of vehicles. Okay. You're going to get number of vehicles. Then the next element in the list could be road surface. The next element could be lighting conditions. Okay. So I've specified 3 names, and irrespective of the order, you can define any name. So then I have given age of casualty or type of vehicle, section of casualty, anything you can provide. So I'll just define type of vehicle. So when you run, now you're going to extract only these 4 columns out. Okay, can you see that? You've got number of vehicles, road surface, lighting conditions, and type of vehicles. Okay, so you can quickly pass a list of elements or the list of columns using which you want to extract the data. Is it clear? Now, so the next view is the quick column statistics view. Okay. यहाँ पे आप कॉलम के statistics चेक कर सकते हैं. Number of vehicles belongs to 3 groups, 1, 2, and 3. Then road surface is also 1 and 2. Lighting conditions, weather conditions, casualty victim, casualty severity. So all this information is available over here. Okay. So now you can see that here there are 3 things: number, 1, 2, and 3 for number of vehicles. Okay. So there is a range here. Sorry, there is one more, 3.85 to 4. Then you have 4 to 5. So exactly it is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There are 5 vehicles. 5 number of vehicles are available is the maximum which has involved into the accident. Okay. So how you can quickly identify this unique information? Okay. So you can quickly go here and you can check extract unique values from the column. Okay. So I'll quickly check data.columns. So I have number of vehicles, road surface. So if I want to check the unique number of vehicles, I'm going to check data within the columns. So you can see that you can call it both also, not columns, the name of the column, which is number of vehicles. And you can quickly call unique. Okay. Print the unique values so when you run, you can see that you have got these many number of vehicles involved: 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, 7. Okay. So from 1 to 7, there are 7 different types of cases where number of vehicles are involved. Okay. Now you can make a plot. The way you see here, there are certain plots here. You can see that for the number of items up till here, up till 7 we have. Okay. Up till 7 we have, there are certain number of observations. So we can quickly make a plot somewhat like this. How can we make a plot somewhat like this? Let's go for it. So create graphs in Python using matplotlib. You can create graphs in Python using matplotlib. Okay. Now, so you can import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. So import is a keyword using which you can import any package. The package is matplotlib, which provides you image processing capabilities like MATLAB. Earlier, there was a software known as MATLAB, which was used by researchers to perform image analysis. All the features of MATLAB can now be accessed in Python as well using this package matplotlib. And in order to quickly create the Python plots, there is a sub package within that known as pyplot. And what we have done, we have created an object of pyplot and we named it as PLT. So that we can call PLT and we can access all the functions which are available in pyplot. Okay. Now, let's go for it. So we'll use PLT. We're going to call a function known as plot. And we'll quickly put a question mark here so that we can take a help. So you can see that you can call the plot function and you can pass in the arguments. So the arguments will be your x-axis and y-axis. Along with there are parameters like you can scale at the x-axis, scale at the y-axis, you can provide any specific data and some additional arguments. So objective of this plot function is to plot y versus x as lines or markers. You can plot a line plot. You can make a line plot. Okay. You can make a line plot as well as there are various other options like बहुत सारे options हैं इसमें आप line plot, pie plot, histogram. You can make a lot of plots. Okay. So now here are certain ways to make a plot. So you can plot x and y. In case if you want to have a special marker like a circular marker with blue color. So O is a circular marker, B stands for blue. So you can define these sequences. I've shared a document with you in which various types of markers and various types of colors, sequences are available. Okay, I'll show you that. So, okay. So there is a document here, Python machine learning.pdf under your Trello card. I'm sharing the link with all of you in the chat. Okay. You can quickly open this document. And on this document, if you go a little down, and I believe you have to go at the end. Okay, now here. So here, this is your line style reference, wherein one example you have seen. This is your circular marker. Okay. Then you can have different types of markers, like you can use this to have a triangular marker. You can have a single dash. You can have a double dash. You can have colon. You can have dash dot. You can have dotted. Then you can use this. Okay. There are various ways of marking. You can use plus, X. You can change the line styles. Okay. There are different types of markings available. So if it does not define anything, its default is line, or else you can define the line style. Okay. As well as there's one more option. This is the markers reference, circular markers, H marker. So आप line के styles भी बना सकते हैं और आप markers भी बना सकते हैं. You can define what kind of marker would you like to put in. Okay. As well as these are the color maps. You can pass the color sequences and color maps as well. What kind of color would you like to give in? Set, red, okay? Different types of color schemes are there. Now, so quickly go to accident, casualty, severity. So here you can have red color with plus symbols. If you have passed in R plus, you're going to get a plot somewhat like this. You're going to get a red color with this plus symbol. Okay. So plus symbols will be pointed and a line will be drawn like this. A plus with red colors like this will be plotted. Okay. Now, as well as there are other options, like you can define the line width. Okay. What should be the width of your line, your marker size. You can define all these properties. Okay. Line style, line width, marker size, various options are there. So you can quickly go with this way. You can plot X and Y and you can grab the information. Okay. Then you can define the format. So format, you already know. I've already given you the document wherein all these are available. Then you have animated, clip box, dashed, fill style. A lot of other options are available. Okay. So finally, you're going to get a line plot in return. Okay. So there is also a function known as scatter. Okay. So you can define scatter plots with various markers so that you can have a bubble chart kind of look wherein you can quickly put in cycle markers. So यहाँ पे पूरा color scheme दिया हुआ है. B for blue, G for green, R for red, cyan, magenta, yellow, black, white. Then these are the markers. You have the point marker, pixel marker, triangle marker, and all these marking schemes are available over here. Then you have the line styles available over here. Okay. And you already have a document. So now let's plot that. So I'm going to make a plot Okay. And there are various other options as well. Uh, Over that, there is one more option. You can directly plot on the basis of your data frames also. Data frames also offers you a function known as plot. The way matplot library offers you a function, in the same way, your data frame also offers you a plot function. So there are two different plot functions. One is available through matplot library. Second is available through pandas library. Okay. Now, in this, you can define the x-axis. What value would you like to print on x? Then you can define the y-axis. Then you can define the kind of the plot which you want to make. Would you like to make a line plot or a scatter plot or a dash plot, bubble plot, pie plot, whatever kind of plot would you want, you can define that over here. Okay. Along with font size, color maps, ticks, labels, and a lot of stuff is available over here. Now, if you go bottom here, you can have a line plot, you can have a scatter plot, you can have hex bin. Okay, various options are available over here. So these types of plots you can make. You can make a line plot, a bar plot, a bar horizontal plot, a histogram, a box plot, a KDE plot. Okay, a density plot, area plot, pie plot, scatter plot, hex bin plot. There are various options available which you can define and quickly print your plots. Is that clear? Now, so if you go here under accident, casualty, severity, you can see that you have various plots available over here. Okay. Just double click over it. I came out mistakenly. Sorry, we are under the exploration phase. And we were going through quick column statistics. Okay, so unique values you have seen. Okay, and we would like to make a plot. Let's say एक plot बनाते हैं. So सबसे पहले हम एक data plot बना रहे हैं. Okay, and I would like to define. You can directly define. Let's say I would like to plot for my first column. So before plotting, let's just print the column so that it's easy for us. Data.columns. I have these columns and I would like to make a plot over them. So the first plot I would like to make, let's say I would like to make on number of vehicles. Okay. And I would like to make a plot. Let's run it without supplying any info. So by default, when I make a plot, I've got this. Okay. So we have approximately 1 to 7 number of vehicles in the accident. So this is a line plot by default. It's not looking good, actually. Okay. What we can do is, let us just define certain properties like kind. I would like to change. Okay. I would like to put it like a bar plot. Let's. Okay. So from the line plot, okay. I made a plot like a bar plot with all the values here at the bottom. It's like a crap kind of plot made over here. ठीक है, आप define कर सकते हो different types of values and plots. Okay. Moreover, so let's say I don't want to print all. I just want to print the unique value, and then I want to plot it. I would like to grab. Achha, unique is not a data frame, so you need to put in somewhere within that. So let's say हम करते हैं data.plot, and on the x-axis, let's try to provide your first value, which is number of vehicles. Okay, हमने डेटा में से प्लॉट किया है और अंदर कॉलम्स में ये जस्ट टेस्टिंग की, ठीक है, अंदर अगर उस डेटा में से उसका कॉलम अगर हम दे देते हैं, so what plot will we get? Okay, so you can extract the information like this way as well. Okay, since it has 2000 values, so it's trying to plot everyone, so it's taking a little time. Okay. So, okay, actually as of now what he did, he made a bar plot with respect to number of vehicles along with all others. So on x-axis, number of vehicles are there. Okay, and number of vehicles are being compared with other conditions like road surface, lighting, but that's not like a relevant graph which we would actually be wanting. So we can have something like casualty we can define here. Let's say casualty severity will plot all the factors against casualty severity. What all may be important? Casualty severity. This is my dependent variable. I would like to identify casualty severity, and instead of bar plot, let me just first create a scatter plot. So I'm going to take up all the data points. Scatter requires an X and Y column. Okay, so you can remove actually the severity from here, and you can directly plot the complete data. Data को अगर आप directly plot कर दोगे ना तो आ जाएगा वैसा. You can make data plot like that. So जितने भी number of जो भी observations हैं अलग-अलग अभी वैसे सारे plot हो गए हैं यहाँ पे. So it's very difficult to identify because सबकी range अलग-अलग हैं. ठीक है, so we need to transform the data so that पूरे data का एक ही level पे on a scale of y जो भी value हम measure कर रहे हैं उसमें सारे factors एक साथ आ सकें. ठीक है. So there are different ways of making the plots from here. So जिसमें आप अलग-अलग kind के plots बना सकते हैं. So we can also call it as like you can call pd.plot और उसके अंदर फिर आप data comparisons कर सकते हैं. Let's say on x-axis I would like to put number of vehicles, and then on y-axis I would like to put out of the data I would like to get casualty severity, because I may be interested to calculate the casualty severity and I want to identify the number of factors which may be correlated or which may be responsible in prediction of the casualty. Okay, and kind of the plot which I would be needing is, let's say I would like to make a scatter plot. तो पीडी से नहीं आया ना, डेटा फ्रेम से आया सारे। ओके, एक काम करो, आप पीएलटी से ले लो डायरेक्टली प्लॉट की जगह, यू कैन टेक अप द स्कैटर फंक्शन. So there is a scatter function directly also, we can call it using the matplotlib library. पहले हम डेटा फ्रेम के थ्रू बना रहे थे, तो डेटा फ्रेम के थ्रू भी आप डायरेक्टली किसी भी एक वैल्यू का लेके प्लॉट आप बना सकते हो, ऑटोमेटिकली दूसरा कंपेयर करता है वो. अदरवाइज आप मैटप्लॉट लाइब्रेरी लेके बना लो तो आप इजीली सारे वैल्यूज दे पाएंगे. So you can use PLT object from matplot library, you can call the scatter plot and you can remove this kind value from here now. Because scatter plot does not require that. It only needs an X and Y value. You can define line width, color map, marker and all that stuff. Okay. So अब आपके पास casualty severity is represented on the left hand side, where we have 1, 2, 3 casualty severity. One could be severe, second could be something, third could be something. Okay. जो हमारे पास वैल्यूज थी, तो y एक्सिस पे वी आर गेटिंग द सीवियरिटी एंड ऑन द x एक्सिस वी आर गेटिंग द नंबर ऑफ व्हीकल्स. ओके, कैन यू सी दैट? सो लेट्स से यू आर गेटिंग द स्कैटर प्लॉट्स एज ब्लू at the moment. If you want, you can change the color. Let's say we can change it to red. Okay, as well as we can set the title, plt.title. Okay, and I would like to make it something like compare number of vehicles with casualty severity. Then I would like to print the X label, like on the X axis I have number of vehicles. Okay, and on the Y axis you can define the Y label. On Y axis we have casualty severity. So we can call number of vehicles as an independent variable, wherein casualty severity may be dependent on number of vehicles. So we like to check that. So when you run, you're going to get the graph in red color with the graph title. Compare number of vehicles with casualty severity. Casualty severity is the dependent variable. At the bottom, we have number of vehicles, which is the independent variable. So we see that there is no correlation. Whatever number of vehicles are there, okay, mostly जब number of vehicles ज़्यादा हैं, मतलब एक कंडीशन है तो भी सीवियर हुआ है, 2 व्हीकल थे तो भी सीवियर हुआ है, 3 हुए हैं तो भी सीवियर फैटल हुआ है. इनफैक्ट sorry, we have severe 3 conditions here ना हमारे पास. So we can quickly go to the exploration here. We can quickly go to the flow here, जहाँ पे आप preparation script अपनी देख सकते हो कि casualty severity की कौन से 3 conditions हैं. So यहाँ पे है हमारी casualty severity, जिसमें slight is 1, serious is 2 and fatal is 3. Okay, so fatal is 3. So आप देखो जब नंबर ऑफ व्हीकल्स कम हैं, मतलब एक व्हीकल है तो भी फैटल एक्सीडेंट्स हुए हैं, 2 हुआ है, 3 हुआ है तो भी फैटल एक्सीडेंट्स हुए. बट जब नंबर ऑफ व्हीकल्स ज्यादा हुए हैं तो कम केसेस हैं, वहां पे स्लाइट है और सीवियर है, बट स्लाइट के मोस्टली केसेस है. ठीक है, सो इट्स नॉट डायरेक्टली कोरिलेटेड, इट डिपेंड्स ऑन अदर कंडीशंस आल्सो. ओके, so you have got one graph like that. So you can right click on it, you can save this image and you can show that let's say we call it as number of vehicles and casualty severity. So you can quickly make your plot and you can say that no, you cannot say कि नंबर ऑफ व्हीकल ज्यादा होंगे तो एक्सीडेंट ज्यादा होगा, ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं है. ठीक है, ऐसा भी नहीं है कि कम होंगे तो ही सीवियर फैटल हो जाएगा. इट टोटली डिपेंड्स ऑन अदर कंडीशंस आल्सो. So we have got this graph ready, and you can quickly use it for your presentations to show that number of vehicles doesn't cause any effect over the severity of the accident. Okay. Now, so this is what you have done. You have plotted that with your Python. Okay. So we are going to make more plots. We are going to compare it first, and then we are going to make more plots. So let's go to the flow again, and we'll go to the prepared data set again, so as to quickly see what all other values are here. So under the quick stats column, unique values आपने देख लिए हैं, ठीक है. Apart from that, you can select anyone, you can optimize, you can click on analyze. So when you analyze, now you can see that you're getting certain values like आपने unique columns देख लिए 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 columns हैं. You're getting the count factor here. How much count of every individual values you have. Okay. तो आप count, percentage count, cumulative count ये आप calculate कर सकते हैं. So data frame के ऊपर जो भी possible functions हैं, they are available over here. On page number 17, okay. So you can select your data. You can get the following information like you can quickly grab the mean, the max value, the minimum value, the sum value, count value, cumulative sum. All these values you can quickly identify. Or else you can perform any custom lambda function as custom functions also you can apply. Okay. Now let's just quickly check that out, how we can do that. So we'll go to the study here, and let's quickly check with number of vehicles. Okay, so mathematical operations on number of vehicles. So you can do that on any other as well. So, but let's say number of vehicle is the number, so we'll be doing it over it. Let's say, so I've selected the data, I've defined select number of vehicles. So when I call it like this, I'm going to get all that information, all the values available within number of vehicles. I can quickly grab that. Okay. Now, I'd like to get the max values. Okay, let's print. Max number of vehicles. So when I print, we get the max number of vehicles is 7. You can calculate the maximum number of vehicles. Then let's calculate minimum number of vehicles. And you are going to use all these functions because the formulas you will be calculating, the equations which you will be calculating, they actually identify, get the max value, sum all the values, take a minimum of all the values, take the mean of all the values, and then put it onto a formula. So in Python, you can do that pretty easily. In Data IQ, it will be done automatically with visual interfaces, but with Python also, you can do all that stuff along with your code. Okay. Let's select data, number of vehicles. Along with, we're going to get the minimum values. So I checked the minimum number of vehicle is 1, maximum number of vehicle is 7, which we have already done with the unique function. Print unique number of vehicles. So out of the data, I would like to call number of vehicles column. And you can quickly call the unique. And when you call unique, you can also call sort over it. Sorry. Sort function directly आप डाल सकते हो. You can quickly put it sorted. Okay. There was a function we have already I think you all remember that you have studied a sorted function. So you can define the number of vehicles are like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are certain cases. Okay. Then mean of number of vehicles. So you can take in data. You can take in number of vehicles. And over that you can call mean function. So mean is 1.95 for the number of vehicles. Mostly दो number of vehicles हैं, mostly हर जगह. So you can round it. We've also done the function round. Since we don't have any value in the decimals, so I would like to round it. So mean of number of vehicles is 2, mostly in major cases. Most of the cases it is 2. So in case if we have any null value, we'll replace that with 2. Okay. Want to count the number of values. Count the number of count the column, count the rows in number of vehicles. Okay, up directly data. Then there's a number of vehicles. And you can quickly call a count function on the data frame as well. So it says there are 2,664 values. Okay, so you can perform all that operations as well. Clear to everyone? हाँ यूनिक लगा, मतलब डेटा नंबर ऑफ वैल्यू में से यूनिक में डाल दो एक ही एक आएगी. सबकी चाहिए तो तुम्हें पहले आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा, एक लूप काइंड ऑफ लिखना पड़ेगा, तब आएगा एग्जैक्टली कितने काउंट्स हैं. हाँ डिस्क्राइब से. If you call the describe function over this data, number of vehicles, you can call DSC है शायद ना, नहीं अच्छा describe आप पास लगा, number of vehicles dot describe. Yeah, so you can get that count, mean, standard, min, max, all those values you can quickly grab in. ठीक है, वैसे भी कर सकते हो, जैसे तुमने एक यूनिक निकाल लिया, अब तुम फॉर ईच एलिमेंट वो निकाल लिया और डॉट काउंट लगा दो, आ जाएंगे ये अकरेंस उस पर्टिकुलर लिस्ट में कितने बार आया. तो काउंट फंक्शन तुम्हें बता देगा नंबर ऑफ अकरेंसेस ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर वैल्यू इन इन डेटा ऑफ नंबर ऑफ व्हीकल्स में सारे मिल जाएंगे. ठीक है, क्लियर? ओके, अब देखिए. सो ये वैल्यूज आपने सब निकाल ली, 7 डिस्टिंक्ट हैं, जो भी उनकी काउंट है, क्यूमुलेटिव परसेंट भी कम सम से आप कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो. ठीक है, सो वी हैव गॉट दैट इंफॉर्मेशन आउट. नाउ अब यहाँ से आप एक्सप्लोरेटरी डेटा एनालिसिस की तरफ बढ़ते हो टुवर्ड्स द चार्ट्स. Again, come to the charts here. So जो plots आप अभी Python में बना रहे हैं, वही plots आप Data IQ के through भी बना सकते हैं. So I have a list of different plots available over here. You can make the following plots. You can make histograms, bar plot, stacked plot, 100% bars, line plot, mixed plot, stacked area, pie plots, donuts. Okay. Along with there are more like pivot tables, color tables. Then you have scatter plots, bubbled plots, hexagon, rectangle. Then you have maps like scatter map, geometry map, grid map. There are other types of plots like box plot for comparative analysis, lift chart, two-dimensional distribution on kernel density estimation. ये सारे plots आप Python में भी बना सकते हैं. Along with you can make it visually as well. So I'll quickly go to, let's say कि मुझे comparative graphs बनाने हैं, ठीक है? So comparative graphs में y will be my independent variable and x will be the variable with which I would like to compare. So out of all these factors, I would like to calculate the casualty severity depending on other factors. So casualty severity becomes my dependent variable, and all other factors like number of vehicles, road surface, lighting conditions, weather conditions, casualty, okay, sex of casualty, age of casualty, all these will represent x-axis. ये सब मेरी x-axis पे, ठीक है? जितने भी red markers हैं, all these could be on x-axis. I can compare them. बट यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा एक चेंज है, मतलब आप ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि आप y को x पे डाल दीजिए और बाकी ऊपर आप मल्टीपल लाइंस के साथ में कंपैरिजंस कर सकते हैं, मल्टीपल वेरिएबल्स को एक साथ प्लॉट कर सकते हैं. बट इट्स बेटर कि हम अपना डेटा से ही डायरेक्टली प्लॉट करें. नाउ लेट्स हैव अ लुक. सो व्हाट आई विल डू इज I'll put casualty severity and I'll put it on y-axis. Got the average of casualty severity. Now I would like to compare it with others. Like first I would like to compare with number of vehicles. Okay. So I would like to use the natural values, the actual values. Okay. So मेरे पास कुछ केसेस हैं. Casualty severity जो एवरेज है, let's say I'll take up the max values. ठीक है, 3, 2 and 1 ये केसेस हैं हमारे पास. ठीक है, एक लाइन प्लॉट काइंड ऑफ आपका बना है. 1, 2, 3 के केसेस हैं. नंबर 3 विच इज योर फैटल. ठीक है, यहाँ पे फिक्स नंबर ऑफ इक्वल इंटरवल्स भी आप ले सकते हो कि जैसे आपके पास नंबर ऑफ व्हीकल्स हैं तो मैं इनको 7 ग्रुप्स में डिवाइड कर रहा हूँ, 30 ग्रुप में डिवाइड कर रहा है, विच इज नॉट गुड. आई हैव 7 वैल्यूज. ये बड़े वैल्यूज के लिए ठीक रहता है जहाँ पे 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 ऐसे कुछ कॉलम्स है. तो मैंने 7 नंबर ऑफ बिन्स में जब इसे डिवाइड किया है, सो एक्चुअली आई एम गेटिंग द सेम ग्राफ. बिन्स का मतलब होता है आप ग्रुप कर सकते हो. ठीक है, जैसे मान लो मैं जो भी वैल्यूज हैं वो टोटल 7 थी, इससे मैंने 7 ग्रुप में कर दिया. तो 1 विल बी रिप्रेजेंटेड विद 1 बिन, 2 विल बी रिप्रेजेंटेड विद 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 एंड सो ऑन. ओके, फिर यहाँ पे भी आप कंप्यूटेशन भी आप कर सकते हैं टू द एवरेज, टू द नॉर्मल स्केल. ठीक है, you can quickly change the left axis, right axis with respect to the graph. Some के बजाय I would like to take the जो भी values हैं. So, on an average यही conditions आ रही हैं. ठीक है, x और y के basis पे क्या क्या cases हैं. 1 है, 2 है, ये most average cases हैं. सो इट्स बेटर कि एवरेज केसेस से बेहतर हम मैक्स वैल्यूज ले लें जिससे हमें थोड़ी एग्जैक्ट वैल्यूज मिल रही हैं. सो ऑन कैजुअलिटी सीवियरिटी यू कैन टेक द मैक्स वैल्यू. नाउ यू हैव गॉट अ ग्राफ लाइक दिस. ठीक है, और नंबर ऑफ व्हीकल्स में आपके पास नीचे बिन्स हैं, 1 से लेकर 7 तक आपके व्हीकल्स को डिफाइन कर रहा है. अब देखो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में आपके पास कुछ ऑप्शंस हैं. सबसे पहले डिस्प्ले. द लेजेंड यू कैन क्विकली पुट इनसाइड द चार्ट. राइट साइड में देखो मैक्सिमम ऑफ कैजुअलिटी सीवियरिटी आपको दिखा रहा है. सो दिस इज नोन एज द लेजेंड. यू कैन क्विकली टेक इनटू द चार्ट. चार्ट के अंदर आ जाए ताकि जब आप एक्सपोर्ट करो तो ये दिखाई दे चार्ट के अंदर. ठीक है, इसका प्लेसमेंट आप चेंज कर सकते हैं. आई वुड लाइक टू कीप इट ऑन टॉप लेफ्ट और बॉटम लेफ्ट. wherever you want you can quickly put the legend. Okay, so let's say I would like to keep it at top left. Then you have the line stroke. ये जो line है इसकी width कितनी होनी चाहिए? You can define the width. Let's say I would like to make it 3. Now you can see that it is now become a little more wide. If I put it on 4, it has gone a little more broader. Okay, then you can change the color of the lines. You can select the color palette. You can select any of the colors, like would you like it dark blue, orange, red, pink. So if I select this one, so the first comparison, first line will be pink, second will be dark blue, third will be light pink, and so on. If I want to make it red, I'll go to set 1. The first color will be the red color, so I'm going to get that red color. Or else you can also define your colors in the custom palette. You can go to custom palette and you can remove the colors which you don't like. So I don't like RGB. This is fine. I would like to keep the dark colors. So that's fine. And you can change in the sequence that I would like the first one to be the orange. The second one would be red. Third line plotted should be green, and so on. And I can save this. So when I save, now you can see that the color has automatically changed to orange. Okay, clear? Then you can perform animations as well. So you can drop an element to create an animation. So I would like to drop the conditions with respect to number of vehicles. Let's try to animate. So with respect to number of vehicles की कम vehicle होंगे तो accident की severity ज़्यादा है, वो दिखा रहा है आपको. ठीक है, and you can quickly take up a random speed and you can play. कि नंबर ऑफ व्हीकल्स 1 हुए, 2 हुए. ठीक है, 2 होंगे तो कंडीशन हाई हो सकती है. when it goes to up till 3, it's high. Then when it goes to 4, it could be little minimum 2. So you can go for that animation. Even you can increase the speed of that animation. Okay, so I can put it from 1 here. And we can play that. So with condition 1, with condition 2, and kind of that you can have. Okay. So यहाँ पे ये binning values ले रहा है. अगर हम चाहें तो we can take up the actual raw values, and you can quickly play that. So 1, 2, 3. तो 4th case में कैसा हो रहा है? 5th case में it's going down. So you can animate for appropriate presentations and so on. Okay, is that clear? You can repeat the animations as well. You can export these animations so that you can record it and you can show the presentations. Is that clear? Or else instead of line plot, you can change it to a histogram so that you can also identify that. Okay. Apart from that, फिर आप सब charts बना सकते हैं, tool tips बना सकते हैं. You can put in multiple charts here. एक ही प्लॉट में मल्टीपल सब चार्ट्स आपके हो सकते हैं. इसी के बाद में यहाँ पे ओपेसिटी का भी ऑप्शन होता है. यहाँ पे आप ओपेसिटी डिक्रीज भी कर सकते हैं अपने ग्राफ की. जैसे मैंने अभी बहुत कम कर दिया. लेट्स से I'll put it somewhere like 40% opacity. You're going to get the appropriate color in that way. If I play and if I repeat, now you can see that the color of the graph is has gone a little down. ठीक है, स्टॉप कर देता हूँ. अभी मैंने ये एनिमेशन हटा दिया. So you have the graph. So if you change the opacity, it's gone a little translucent. It's got much transparent, totally gone, much opaque. We can do that stuff as well. Is that clear? And finally, what you can do is, and quickly download that stuff. Download as an image. So when you download, you get the max of casualty severity by number of vehicles. So when you open, you've got your graphs created. Okay. So at the bottom, we have number of vehicles. At the left-hand side, we have the casualty severity, the maximum values, and you have the graph exported out. Okay. So you can export the graphs with Python, as well as you can quickly create that with with the data IQ for exploratory analysis. Okay. So you can see that with increment in number of vehicles, there is no positive correlation in the severity. In fact, when the number of vehicles is increasing, the casualty severity is decreasing. Okay. Now, if I ask you, what is the percentage of increment or decrement here? We can quickly calculate that with correlations. Okay. Now let's plot the correlations. So to make a plot, to actually check the correlations among all the variables, we can quickly do that. We can go to data. We can actually calculate the correlation matrix. You have got the correlation matrix here. Okay. So you can see that you can call this function data.corr, which is to calculate correlation matrix. And now if you see here, casualty severity is my dependent variable, and I would like to check the dependence of casualty severity on other. So as you all can see that with respect to number of vehicles, there is a negative correlation, minus 12%. So this says if the number of vehicles are increasing, casualty severity is decreasing. So we can represent it that. So we can quickly say that it's 12% negative correlation among casualty severity and number of vehicles. Okay. Can you see that? फिर लाइटिंग कंडीशंस अगर आप देखो तो कह रहे हैं लाइटिंग कंडीशंस से कैजुअलिटी की सीवियरिटी बढ़ रही है. ओके. जो विक्टिम है उसका इसका भी कुछ पॉजिटिव रिलेशन है 9%. ओके. देन अगेन 4% एज ऑफ कैजुअलिटी से भी सीवियरिटी के बीच में रिलेशन है. ओके. कैन यू सी दैट? और बाकी जगह नेगेटिव कोरिलेशंस, जब एक बढ़ रहा है तो दूसरा कम हो रहा है. ओके. एंड यू हैव द एग्जैक्ट परसेंटेज ऑफ नेगेटिव कोरिलेशंस एज वेल. So you can see that there is no strong influencer to predict casualty severity. कोई strong influencer नहीं. So अब मैं कैसे machine learning use करूं ताकि मैं effectively accuracy से casualty severity predict कर पाऊं. Is that clear? That's what our objective is. So we'll continue our session and tomorrow we'll do that. Okay. So guys, that's all for the day. So you have got to know about various things about data IKU, how you can quickly create graphs, and you have done various things on Python as well, so as to quickly export the graphs and do that stuff. Now we'll proceed towards data transformation, data mining, and interpretations and evaluations, so as to perform machine learning and to predict casualty severity depending on other conditions, that what all conditions are responsible to calculate severity of an accident. Okay, and then you can take up various data sets which we can explore. And I'm also exploring project ideas for you. So I will be sharing what kind of projects you can take up. I will give you a list of various projects which are quite popular nowadays. Okay, so you can take up, you can select them, you can quickly review them by the time we start the projects. Okay, so आप लोगों को थोड़ा time मिल जाएगा एक week का, so that you can explore different type of projects options which you find easy, which you find easy, or else which you find effective. You can select any of them. You'll get ample amount of time, and then we'll start designing the project. Is that clear? So we'll take up a few case projects here, ताकि आपको पता लग जाए end to end प्रोडक्ट बनाना कैसे है. 2-3 प्रोजेक्ट्स हम यहाँ पे करेंगे, और फिर एक जो आपको अपने कॉलेज में सबमिट करना है, या जो आप अपने माइनर्स या मेजर्स के लिए आप टारगेट कर रहे हैं. So you can design that. Okay, so you'll get that support from us. So that's all for the day. Let's catch up tomorrow. Thank you so much for being available. We'll continue with transformation, interpretation, mining, and interpretation and evaluation. Thank you so much.